I'd like to call to order the Board of Supervisors meeting for Monday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call in, please.
Supervisor Jeannie Vogel.
Here.
Supervisor Derek Daniel.
Here.
Supervisor Mark Hain.
Here.
Supervisor Linda Waite.
Here.
Chairman Dan Wolfel.
Here. All right. Next item on our agenda is to meet and greet the people who have shown up today. And I think we have one person in the audience this evening. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. Derek Demise, North Country View Road.
Thank you, and welcome, Derek. All right. With that, we have public participation, so we turn again to our lone constituent. Do you have anything you'd like to say under public participation this evening?
Not really.
Okay, thank you. We do have.
Oh, actually, yes, I want to say one thing.
You had your chance.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I will say what the work has been done on the Muscat property, I like it. I mean, it's a very big improvement for what short time it's working on. I just hope that they're gonna go back to the rest of the barn. Because it seems like they have half the barn and,
Oh, they're not done.
oh, okay,
It's not done. Still has some work to do.
okay, but it's looking good.
Okay. And under public participation, we have a report from County Board, Dale Vogel, courtesy of his wife, since he's not here this evening. So would you like to do that, Jean?
Yes, I would be happy to. So Dale's comment is last month's board meeting was light on issues. Most of our work being done was on the budget, which we will approve this month. We passed an amendment on all-terrain and all-utility terrain vehicle routes. Litigation on COVID-19, Attorney Grant Thomas gave us his legal perspective as to what the county can and can't do regarding COVID-19. Attorney Thomas and Sue Powers, Health Department, are named in the lawsuit with no decision yet.
Well, thank you, Dale, via Jean. All right. With that, let's move on to adopt the agenda. I assume it was properly noticed.
The agenda was properly noticed.
All right, a motion to adopt would be in order.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion by Jeannie, second by
I'll second.
Derek. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, approval of minutes, Board of Supervisors meeting from September 21st.
I'll move to approve the minutes of September 21st, 2020, Sevastopol Board of Supervisors meeting.
All right, motion by Linda, second by Jeannie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, pending business. Linked Media, I copied you in on Amy Sullivan's comments with regard to the billboard ordinance. And I guess I'm just looking for your feedback. I mean, she obviously feels that the best course of action for us to take is to limit ourselves to nonprofits, 501c3 types of things. But basically what she's recommending is that the town decide if it wants to put something out there. It would be at our discretion. And we would eliminate giving the right to anyone. It would remain with us. Comments, thoughts, you know, she does give us an option that says she could pursue it further if we want her to do that. So I guess I need some feedback from you. Anyone and everyone.
I'm okay with just following Attorney Sullivan's memo here. Use our discretion on posting any nonprofits or 501c3 events. Hopefully we'll have some next year and see how that goes. And, you know, if we decide to move forward with anything else, we can think about that next year.
Okay,
I think that's a good plan.
all right. 2 out of 4. Mark, any feelings?
I think Amy covered it very well, Sullivan. Just stick with her legal opinion and stop chasing our tail with it, I think, throwing good money away. Trying to, keep on.
Eric?
Yeah.
Okay,
Same
so
feeling.
I think we should give one person a ability to talk here, which would be Amy, the person that would be corralled into this. From my take, if we do this, it's basically saying that we would solicit somebody if they'd want us to do this for them. In other words, we'd go to the FFA or Threshery and solicit that, which, the burden of this would end up falling on you to some degree. So how do you feel about this?
I don't feel uncomfortable doing this. I think that limiting it to those groups is going to make it easier.
Okay, so, all right. If you're all in agreement, and since Amy's the one that has to do it, I think we should walk slowly, pick the ones that we think we would like to have up there or give an opportunity to put up there. I don't care if it's a school event or whatever, but we'll let you solicit it as appropriate, or unless someone gets a request at the board level that, someone would like to do this. And if there's a question involved, let me know or Amy, and we'll try and figure out where to go. I think the one thing you'd like to avoid, Amy, is you're having to do much of anything in creative at all, other than just let them submit something in a concept, which you could turn over to Link Media,
Yep.
and then go there and not, if this gets to be too much of a burden, we need to know, so.
Okay.
The other thing is, currently it says, welcome to the town of Sevastopol. If somebody has a suggestion, I can certainly call them up and have them modify the sign if you want to change it to something else. Or we can leave that up. As you know, we can rotate the sign on literally a minute-by-minute basis, or odd and even hours, however we might like. So if someone has a suggestion on something that we want to flip it to, let me know. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, I have a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Do they accept video or just text?
I don't know the answer to that, Laddie.
Well, what I'm getting at is, it would be nice if we could advertise our TV station, and/or I could make a video for any purpose at all. I mean, I could pull up some old Threshery things for them and make something that'd probably be fancier than Link would do for us. If we just give them a text, they're not going to have pictures of the Threshery or the school or whatever.
Well, we give them the artwork, and then they come back and forth, but I will ask the question. I don't know if they would. I frankly thought about doing it before and after of the Muscat property. But I'll ask. That's a good idea, and I'll find out the answer. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Derek has an idea.
Yes.
I mean, I know the whole local welcome to Sevastopol is a great idea. I like actually seeing it. It's unique for our area. You could maybe, I don't know, seasonally do pictures. I mean, I have some great pictures of, like, Cape Point or so on and so forth. Just, you could maybe see if people in the community want to submit pictures, like, to Amy or whatever, and just, like, just have, like, a little mini showcase or whatever, but, like, to show off areas in Sevastopol with the logo.
How about video of Cape Point rather than still
The
pictures?
thing is that, if I remember correctly, it's only 3 seconds. 8 seconds? Okay, but
It's pretty limited in terms of what, we would truly get an Oscar for short story. But we'll look into it and see. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't maybe do a photo or video clip of something. So good suggestions. We'll find out. Okay. The next item on the agenda here is the update on broadband. And as you know, the town has been working on trying to expand the availability of high-speed internet in our community. And the chair of that committee is Ms. Vogel. And so I'll ask her to kind of give us a current status on where we stand and what are next steps. So, Jeannie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So As I said last month, the committee unanimously approved and recommended to the town board that the town partners with Door County Broadband to obtain a PSC grant to bring broadband to our community. The amount that the town would be contributing would be $75,000. It would be matched by Door County Broadband. And then in turn, those two numbers together would be matched with the PSC grant. The other thing that I've been working on as this has progressed, I've talked with both the town of Jacksonport Chair Randy Halstead and in the town of Egg Harbor Supervisor Miles Danhausen, because it was when Jess from Door County Broadband and I had a conversation, we talked about locating of sites that could benefit 2 or 3 of our municipalities. So if in fact we do point to certain locations with that in mind, in particular, it seems to be along Town Line Road that there's a location that's actually within the town of Egg Harbor that would serve all 3 communities. Also a location in Jacksonport and a location, actually 2 locations in the town of Sevastopol. So if we were to be able to do that, we could literally cut those costs in thirds. So would a new tower in a location like that would be a third of the cost to Egg Harbor, a third to Jacksonport, and a third to Sevastopol. That makes total sense. Then the other thing that if we had a Clark Lake location, which would be in our town, the town of Jacksonport would pick up half the cost of that tower because it would serve both Sevastopol and Jacksonport. The Valmy Tower location that we had talked about would just benefit Sevastopol, therefore that would be just the cost to the town of Sevastopol. So I can talk about the grant itself works on a point system. So when you can show cooperation, there's a number of points right within the grant itself. You get, if there's matching funds, like there's 10 points for that. If you have a public-private partnership, that would involve in effect, if it's town property that the tower would be located on, gives us more points. Existing broadband service into an unserved community, another 10 points. The project impacts, there's a number of other points that you actually achieve more points. So the more points, obviously, that you can accumulate, the better that would be when the PSC is looking at you for a grant. We're also hoping that by showing the spirit of cooperation between the towns, that would be very favorable. These are very competitive grants. And Jess at Door County Broadband says, that's going to be a very competitive time. So when they go, there does have to, on the application, they do have to say an approximate location, but they can have it fairly broad. So if in the application process, they could say Clark Lake in general kind of thing, and Bellamy area as a general. For example, in the last round of the grants cycle, Randy Halstead's property where the tower ended up being was called a Central Jacksonport in the application. So it doesn't have to be absolutely specific. It doesn't have to be pointed out with a parcel number or a name or anything like that for locating the tower. So be happy to answer anything that I can. If there's anything else that anyone has any questions, I'll answer them if I can.
I have one, but Lizzie?
So Jacksonport, I also talked to Randy and we got on this subject. They used some of their CARES funding, right?
They were able to, that was a yes, well, I don't know what it
For
was
a-
called.
for
It
a
was a
tower.
particular special thing that came out, but you already had to have your tower in the works.
Okay, 'cause
Right.
he said they're like
And that's why
shovel
there was
ready.
some money for one that's being constructed right now.
Yep,
Yeah,
he said
on his
there-
property, yes.
That was shovel ready to
Yep.
go.
Mhm.
And I believe we have, is it tomorrow night, the webinar with, on the broadband?
It's
At 6
Wednesday
PM
night. It's
or
Wednesday
Wednesday?
night.
Wednesday.
At 6 PM?
Yep.
What is the timeline for this grant cycle? Because I would think we're getting very,
You're-
very close.
We are tight, and that's why we really need to have a motion tonight to, that we're going to go forward with this.
And
So-
who is preparing the grant? Jess at DC
Yes,
Broadband? or-
and then, and then there's hopefully assistance that will come from maybe Door County Economic Development Corporation, that sort of thing. So I think I will be finding out more information on that webinar. And I've also tried to reach out to Bay Lake Planning. I'll tell you, it's really tough right now because nobody's around, nobody's in an office because of COVID. And I tried emailing and it got kicked back to me a couple of times, so now I'm gonna have to try another approach. But you know, as you mentioned, Bay Lake Planning Commission, they assist with grant.
Right.
So too, so I'm gonna reach out to them as well. But yes, this grant process has to be, everything has to be in before December 1st. So there's no time to delay.
Well, try Brandon Robinson there. He was our contact for
Okay,
the
thank you.
comprehensive plan, and he's usually quite prompt in getting back to us, so.
It might be the kind of situation, Jeannie, where you try and get Jess and Brandon, because he'll come up here,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yep.
get the two of them in a room, and so they could figure out where they're gonna go and take advantage. And I'm sure, I gotta believe that Brandon's worked on somebody else's grant.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
and I
sure he
think
has.
that Jess indicated that like NWTC and stuff has been very helpful in the
So-
past as well, so I,
Give him a call and see what's up.
Yeah.
My question was, there was also a email that came out from Door County, from Ken Babich.
yes, I talked to him
Is
last
that-
week.
Is that, are they looking to throw verbal or monetary
No.
or both?
Well, I think both. They don't do much. He
it's a
says
partner.
between $2,000 to $5,000.
Okay,
Typically, I think it's been two.
but it's another part of that
It's another
process.
part of it. He asked me to reach out to Jess and ask Jess to contact him, and which I have.
Okay,
That happened, as I know the county supervisor, that came up in the finance committee meeting today, too,
Oh.
about funds for
Well, that would have
broadband.
been some good info to give us. Okay, no problem.
Well,
He will.
I
The other
think,
th-
go
the-
ahead.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
I was just
Sure.
gonna mention one. When you do reach out to Brandon, Jeannie,
Uh-huh.
I think I sent an email to you or whatever about the Wisconsin Coastal Management Program that also has grants available. And one of the items is public access, but those applications are due November 2nd. So maybe mention that to him.
Well, you might be able to crank something up. in
So
about
maybe,
10
yeah,
days.
grant between PSC and, if one fails, maybe the other one would come through, since we're surrounded by water.
The only other thing I would add is that we have engaged the Sevastopol School District to partner with us in this effort, because besides the obvious, which is the benefit for our citizens, it would significantly benefit the students in their remote learning. And so if you're interested in that, if you're sitting at home and you got a minute, feel free to call your school board, Sevastopol School Board, and encourage them to do that. We've had some conversations with them. I think they're supportive, but anything that moves them further down the road would be helpful as well. So, good enough. Thank you.
I have a quick question on, I don't know much about broadband stuff, I'm just not in technology, but, if we get too many people on a tower, is that a thing? I don't know, like, if we have 3 town or municipalities going on the same tower, does that affect stuff, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't think Door County Broadband would propose something like that if it was not conducive to.
We're not gonna spread our coverage too
Well, I
thin.
think part of it is a relaying kind of situation. You know, when Kevin Voss was here and talked about doing a spine, you know, up the middle of the peninsula, I think that's, you know, part of what they're talking about when they talk of certain, they talk in terms of spine and different, different things like that, but they would, I made a note here about something with, Door County Broadband would only confirm a site if it can serve more customers, and they look at the Door County GIS to see what that would be, if that's helpful. Does that help at all?
Generally speaking, it would be, I think, fairly rare that you'd have a problem with it, Mark. They should have their equipment at a capacity to handle what they anticipate usage would be. I mean, there's always a peak where you could have something, but they're also guaranteeing the user X amount of data down and up, so they have to balance that. So I think they'd be all right with it. And when you think high speed, there's so many varying levels of that. I mean, they're at the lower end of the spectrum too. So it's not like everybody's trying to stream Gone with the Wind at the same time.
Yeah, they map all that. I mean, this is what they've been doing for quite some time. So they map all of what the coverage would be, the area, the number of people served, the number of businesses served. Sometimes they have to make a more generalized statement on a grant application because, you know, a lot of people's, it's a home business or whatever that's being served and not an actual freestanding business.
Brick and
So
mortar.
you have to make a generalization.
I think he also said in one of the meetings, if my memory serves me right, that they had upgraded a lot of the equipment on the towers currently as well.
They had
To address
yeah.
the increased demand because of virtual learning, et
Yes.
cetera.
Well, they increased their bandwidth. I
Right.
think it was the FCC that demanded that at a certain point, your equipment has to be upgraded. But
Okay.
anyway, I think we do need to have a motion that we're going to go forward with this.
I would suggest you make the motion.
Okay. I will attempt to do so. I would like to make a motion that the town of Sevastopol partner with Door County Broadband to obtain a PSC grant. The amount contributed by the town of Sevastopol would not exceed $75,000, which would be matched by Door County Broadband, and therefore go on to obtain a PSC grant to matching funds.
Okay, we have a motion by Jean, second by,
I'll second that motion.
second by Linda. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. You got that recorded, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item is update on short-term rental, and this is another work in progress where the town is looking to, what would be the word? Looking to modify for the overall benefit our short-term rentals. And with that, I'll give you to the chair of that committee, Ms. Waite.
Okay, just a brief history. In 2017, the Wisconsin legislature gave the okay for homeowners to rent their residential homes on a short-term rental basis, falling under the description of tourist rooming houses. Shortly thereafter, some concerns were brought forth, and in 2018, we, the town, one of our town committees, started working on an ordinance with a purpose to ensure that the quality, stability, and character of our residential neighborhoods would remain protected while properties were being rented. This is now with the Plan Commission, and we are currently on draft 6. And some of the requirements or conditions would include adequate off-street parking, a local contact person, someone available 24/7 in the event of concerns or emergencies, or if neighbors needed problem resolution. We're discussing a minimum rental period for bookings or reservations, minimum nights. We're looking at occupancy limits based on sanitation system capacities. We're looking at current licensing and permitting with Wisconsin Department of Ag, Trade and Consumer Protection, and also that they are licensed or permitted with the Door County Tourism Zone Commission. The latest draft is now with our town attorney for review and comments, and I expect that will be brought back to our next meeting, which is next Thursday, October 29th at 7 p.m. I do expect that we will hold at least one public informational session or public hearing, but with the current health situation, we don't have a timetable on when that might happen.
Okay, any questions from any of the board? Okay, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Next item is an update on the Muscat property. If those of you have not driven by, sooner or later you will, and you will not see it there any longer. As of today, all of the home structures are down. The last home is about to be loaded into a trash receptacle and hauled away tomorrow. The only thing that remains is the barn, which will be probably handled later this week. Part of the barn was recovered through a company in Green Bay that saved a lot of the wood. The remaining portion, which is the milking parlor itself, remains, and that, like I said, will come down. The interesting thing was I was there for a lot of the buildings when they first started on them, and they were in far worse condition than anyone anticipated, literally to the extent that the backhoe operator touched the roof on the first building and the whole thing tilted and fell to the right. Not where he expected it to go. But they've done a good job so far. There's some hay to be spread around out there on site that was not expected. The cars that were inside the building were given to C&W. There was an old Rambler and a GMC pickup that had been crushed. Those were removed. I have something for the Historical Society, which I have to get when the meeting's over, something you'll like. But basically, I think we should be wrapped up with it by the end of the week. It's been a bigger project than maybe all of us expected. We've had to cap a well that we found there. There's been a lot of very, very interesting things. A safe. Unfortunately, the safe contained no money. But they have found some interesting things. So it's moving forward. I have actually had a couple people actually call and say they can't believe that it's gone. So I think community reaction will be good once it's all finished and kind of cleared up. So we'll have more to report next month.
Is the silo, is that,
Silo will stay.
it's, okay, that's what I thought.
We talked about taking it down, and I don't think we need to spend any more money. And the other side is it's kind of iffy when they knock them down, whether we just create something worse than what we already have, because we don't want to haul it away, the concrete, go from there.
I had one person comment negative, said they wish they would known so they could went and take some pictures.
Well,
Believe me.
we have plenty of pictures.
Yeah, well, I was kind of impressed by that they didn't pay attention as this is happening. Like, this has been going on for how long?
Yeah.
And really, what are you taking pictures of?
Well, we had
Dilapidated buildings? I mean, there
We had
wasn't much
somebody
left.
call and complain about a different eyesore, and I said, how did you miss the fact that the one sitting across the street's been there for 20 years, and they never called about that? But here nor there. At any rate, we are making progress, I'm happy to report. So, on the new business, and really the only item we have there is the special board budget meeting. When we did the original calendar last January or February, we had set the date as November
23rd.
23rd.
23rd. And that's a conflict for some of our sportsmen. So we'd like to move it to November 30th, and if no one has a problem doing that, that's what we shall do. Anyone have issue with that?
That's still starting at 6 PM with the budget hearing
We will start at 6 PM
And-
on the 30th.
and board to follow.
Board meeting to follow immediately afterwards, after we go through the entire process. All right, Laddie, you can make that date?
Yes.
So we will be able to air it for those people sitting at home dying to see us. So we will do that, then we'll move it to the 30th. And Amy, you'll post it on our web and maybe make a change on the our outdoor sign?
Sure.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
All right. I did forget to mention one thing when Jeannie was talking about the broadband. We do have a recommended ordinance back from the attorney, so we will have that next month. So we've settled on one that everybody seems to be happy with on their side. So that's good news, at least we move forward from that.
On the broadband?
Pardon me?
The tower, or the
The
tower,
tower.
Oh, okay.
chapter 14.
Chapter
Sorry.
14,
That's what
gotcha,
he's talking
gotcha,
about.
gotcha.
Yep, thank you. Chapter 14. Cool. And I talked to the county, I know I'm backing up here, but I talked to the county about the fact that we were leaving that and the fact that once we left chapter 14, about 85% of the towns or area of the county would no longer be covered by that. And she said, I don't think anybody cares anymore. So it's like, okay, no big deal. So anyway, let's move on to financial reports. You have in front of you your account balances and the budget versus actual and the transaction list by date for the month. And if anybody has any questions, you may ask them of our clerk treasurer, who has a little information to share with us. Amy?
We have already exceeded our revenues for our special assessments category and our building permit category for 2020. The proposed 2021 budget is available for viewing on our website under the Budget and Financials tab. I will also be publishing it in the Advocate, and the public budget hearing is scheduled for Monday, November 30th at 6 p.m.
Okay, great. I'd like to accept those financial reports. A motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report,
Financial reports and treasurer's report.
finance reports and treasurer report.
Okay, no problem. Motion by Mark, second by Derek. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay, approval of vouchers, bills, and claims. Has everybody had a chance to sign that? So a motion would be in order for that.
I'll make a motion to accept the vouchers, bills, and claims.
All right. Motion by Derek, second by
Second.
Mark, for the approval of vouchers, bills, and claims, September 22nd through October 19th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Does anyone have an oral committee report? I think we've covered pretty much everybody, unless, Mark, you have something or not?
Not,
Okay.
I
think
I
we're
can
good.
say something about the Tourism Zone Commission.
Oh, all righty. Linda, it's all yours.
Lots going on with the Tourism Zone Commission. Let's see. I believe our chairman asked about unaccounted for room tax collections as a result of the 2019 Act 10 and the marketplace sellers, trying to decipher what zip code or what municipality it should go to. So the Door County Tourism Zone Commission receives a lump check with no detail. However, the administrator, Kim Roberts, compares that with and relies on the room tax reports that are filed each month with the Tourism Zone Commission, and then she can make the appropriate allocations to the correct municipalities. The system's not perfect, but it does provide an audit trail on receipts and disbursements, and there's currently less than $3,000 unaccounted for. So out of the 1.1 million collected There, I believe it's around 2,900 that she hasn't been able to figure out. So that's that.
We'll gladly take it.
Hmm?
We'll gladly take it.
Yeah. And then the tourism zone also took action to post for a limited-term employee administrative assistant to help with Kim Roberts. When we first initiated room tax back in 2008, there were about 500 permitted properties. Now there's nearly 1,300. So many of those permit holders are requiring more one-on-one assistance, and there's complications with the marketplace providers and different factors, and just using up administrative time and resources. So this limited-term employee would assist with meetings, audits, financials, filings, and other clerical duties. This would be a part-time position with flexible hours. If anyone's interested, you can call Kim Roberts at 920-854-6200 or email to info@doorcountytourismzone.com. Our meeting last Thursday, there was also a lengthy discussion on possibly increasing the room tax rate and changing some funding mechanisms for the zone and allocations of receipts and that, and marketing and due to the municipalities. So they're looking at that. At the end, this is all going to be referred to the executive committee to create a task force or an ad hoc committee to address potential room tax rate increase and funding mechanisms and allocations. Oh, and Kim Roberts also mentioned there's some spoofing scams going on. So be careful. If you are making a reservation, make sure it's for real. You would not want to get up here and find yourself without a room. And also be careful about giving out personal information when making those reservations. So caution there.
Thank you, and one question. Do we know the results of July yet for tax collection?
Yes.
And how did it fare compared to last year?
The year-to-date, excuse me, year-to-date, and this is through August 2020, the room tax collections overall, so all municipalities, were down 14.5%. Sevastopol was down 9.4%. And our collections, I don't think I made a note of just our collections.
That's fine. So roughly right, though, we're down 10%,
Yeah.
which is, considering where we started, is probably not all bad and better than average.
Yeah. But numbers overall, I think August was even higher than last August, 2019.
Better, you mean? Oh, good.
Collections.
Maybe
Yeah.
September and October will pick up the slack. Thanks, Linda.
Yep.
Okay, the other couple of items in your packet, and I should say, is the,
Did you,
sorry,
oh, Lanny.
Oh,
sorry.
There's also a scam going around, it's been happened a lot, where somebody will find a property for sale, a residential property for sale, and they will scrape the pictures and data and offer it for rent. And they'll accept some money. Of course, if the renter shows up, he won't be disappointed no matter what, but somebody's gotten some money out of it. I don't know how you protect against that, except just do some research.
That explains a lot, because we had somebody at dinner tonight, we had no idea who they were. Okay, enough of that. In your packet, you also have the Door County Coastal Byway minutes, and you have the Plan Commission minutes from Thursday, September 17th, and the Park and Rec Board from July 13th. So, motion to accept those and put them on file, please.
I'll move to accept and place those minutes on file. And just one note on the coastal byway, I asked our clerk to include them because it does reflect a motion to spend some money. We're going to, or we plan to update the website.
All right. Motion by Linda, second by?
I'll second that.
Second by Jeannie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None carried. Thank you. Okay, license and permits, you have the Door County zoning and Door County inspections recap for the month. And you also, after that, have a copy of the Door County Motorcycle Club application for a temporary license. And I think if you may have heard earlier, there was a little problem with noise there, so next time when they come and ask for that, I think Amy will address that appropriately, so it doesn't become an irritation for the neighbors. So we're sorry that happened, and have issues like that in the future, feel free to pick up the phone and call the sheriff's department. They can address these things anonymously. You don't have to put up with that.
Was it this past weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I heard it from my house.
Yeah. Was it good? All right, correspondence, very little this month. You have the Sturgeon Bay Fire Department recap, and you have the billing, partial billing from the county for road repair that we've done. And that's the extent of the correspondence. Announcements, we have a plan commission meeting, which Linda mentioned earlier, on Thursday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Laddie, are you planning to tape that?
I'm sorry, what event?
Plan commission meeting Thursday, October 29th.
If you want me to, I can.
Would you please?
Yes.
All right.
And it
Put
won't be
on-
live streamed though, right? That's just recorded? It
Yes.
won't be live streamed?
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube the next day, same with
Okay.
the video. General election, I had no idea. We actually have an election coming up November 3rd. I don't know how you could possibly have missed this. Polls are open at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have a special board budget meeting on Monday, November 30th at 6 p.m. And those are all of the announcements. Does anybody have anything that we need to bring back for next month other than what we've already discussed?
Linda was wagging her finger, I thought she.
Oh, did you have something, Linda?
No.
Okay. So that brings us to the portion of the meeting that Derek now likes.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Derek,
I'll second that.
second by Mark, to adjourn. I don't think we should vote on it tonight.
Let's just leave.
You gonna stick around for a while, or?
Let's stick around for a while. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.